Good evening and welcome to TC Network. I am Tingnay Tim Hoki bringing you today's news. Today's top headlines include COTU calls for 12-hour total shutdown in Kang Po Pi in retaliation against Assam Rifles closing off Lei Mahong Gate denying passage between Kang Po Pi and Lamka. Clamor for President's rule increasing in Imphal, says former Chief Justice of Manipur High Court. Kuki, Karbi ancestry and constitutional rights in Assam highlighted by War Kuki Zo Intellectual Council. Manipur government slams Mizoram Chief Minister for stoking fire of hatred division. News in details. The Committee on Tribal Unity Sadar Hills Kang Po Pi District has announced a 12-hour total shutdown in the district on November 30 from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. The announcement follows the abduction of an MES employee from the Army cantonment at Lei Mahong, an incident the committee strongly condemned while expressing full support for the ongoing search and rescue efforts. Lystrom Kamal Babu, a 56-year-old supervision employed with MSL Binot Construction, disappeared on November 25, 2024 while working inside the 57 Mountain Division Army camp at Lei Mahong. Highlighting the tense situation in Manipur, the committee pointed that since May 3, 2023, the Kuki Zo community has been evicted from the Imphal Valley by the Meitei community, leading to a complete geographical divide. The Kuki Zo now inhabit the hills while the Meitei are confined to the valley, with neither group able to move freely through the other's territory. The committee stressed the need for secure and unrestricted road connectivity for hill residents, citing persistent threats from valley-based Meitei militants. It called for immediate action to address the security concerns without imposing unnecessary restrictions, declaring the shutdown as a mark of protest. The committee urged all stakeholders to ensure the safety and freedom of movement for the hill communities. According to the committee, mass protests will also be simultaneously held at strategic locations, including Gamgipai, Saparmena, Keithel Manbi Military Colony, and Brigadier M. Thomas Grang Kang Po Pi, with parallel demonstrations across Saikul, Lei Mahong, Kangchup, New Keithel Manbi, and the Tui Lang region.
On 30th November 2024, there was a peaceful rally in the Imphal area comprising of 28 villages. This rally was conducted in pursuance to COTU instructions that all locations under Kang Po Pi district should organize a protest rally against the closure of Army Gate in the Mahong. This closure of the road have created a lot of hardships for the public of the two districts, especially for the Kuki Zo people. Because in these ethnic conflict times, both the communities could not see eye to eye, and therefore the Kuki Zo people could not use the very roads. Therefore, the only hilly road coming across this Lemko area has been closed, and it creates a lot of difficulties for our various daily needs. To protest this closure of road by Army, we have prepared a memo which we have submitted to the Army Authority for consideration, wherein we have stated that closure of the road should be reopened and it should come to the normal timings. There is from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. But the Army declined to accept on security reasons. Anyway, people of the Imphal area have been united in this protest, and the sufferings of the people of any community has been highlighted to the concerned authorities. So I hope the people also realize the gravity, and the authority also should realize the gravity of closure of this road. Closure of the road by implication means trying to suffocate people's life to a great extent. So we are against this closure of the road. We have been cooperating with the Army Authority in trying to find out the missing persons, whoever community may be. The Mukong area people are always with the authority. They have been supporting the army. They are not creating any obstruction in the combing operation of the Mukong villages. Therefore, when we are very cooperative, why the road should be closed to us? It is our only lifeline. Therefore, the high authority at every level should consider reopening the road at the earliest in public interest. Thank you.
The COTU has ordered the complete suspension of all travel, fieldwork, business operations, and activities in government and private institutions, demanding absolute participation from the Kuki-Zo community. Former Chief Justice of Manipur High Court, Siddharth Mridul, said on Friday, November 29, 2024, that the clamor for President's rule seems to be gaining momentum in Imphal, which saw protests and violence after 6 women and children were abducted by armed militants in Jiribam during an encounter with security forces on November 11th and were later found killed. Justice Retired Mridul, who demitted office on November 21, said in an interview with The Hindu that at no stage can be it said that peace has returned to Manipur and that the situation has worsened in the past 1 year. He said that the violence continues in the northeastern state due to problems such as infiltration, smuggling of drugs and arms through Myanmar. He also said there has been a demographic change in Manipur over the years. The Free Movement Regime, FMR, which existed between India and Myanmar for decades, was suspended by the Union Home Minister earlier this year. The center's decision to suspend the FMR is being opposed by all communities bar the Métis, the retired judge said. Manipur has 34 scheduled tribes, which includes Naga and Kuki communities. There is infiltration, whether they are Indians or not is not for me to say, but there is a lot of trans-border movement from Myanmar. There are a lot of refugees coming in from Myanmar, which is in a troubled state, he said, adding that the army is being tasked to keep track of all those who are claiming refugee status. Justice Mridul said that, attributing the ongoing ethnic violence to the March 2023 Manipur High Court order would be far from the truth and most unfair. He said that it was only the spark that lit the fire, as Manipur had been sitting on a powder kegs with simmering discontent for a long time. The simple issue that was pending before the High Court then, and that judgment has now been reviewed by the Manipur High Court after I took charge as chief, was asking the state government to respond to the central government in retaliation to the Métis' demand for scheduled tribe status. Nothing more, nothing less. That's all. It did not direct anybody to give an ST status to Métis, but it was blown out of proportion locally. It was made to seem as if they were directed to be included as ST. And there was a reaction which was unprecedented, which was violent to say the least, he said. The Manipur High Court on March 27, 2023 had directed the state government to submit its recommendation on the inclusion of Métis in the ST list, asking the administration to consider the proposal preferably within 4 weeks. On May 3, 2023, a tribal solidarity rally was organized in all hill districts, following which the violence erupted starting from Churachandpur. More than 250 people have been killed and around 60,000 people have been displaced in the ethnic violence between the tribal Kuki-Zo people and the Métis people since then. Eventually, whether a community can be categorized as a scheduled tribe or not is not within the domain of the judiciary at all, Justice Mridul said. The World Kuki-Zo Intellectual Council WKZIC has issued a press statement shedding light on the historical Kuki Karbi ancestry and blood connections, as well as their constitutional rights in Assam. The statement reads as follows. In connection with the statement of Karbi Anglong Autonomous District Council, KASC Chief Executive Member CEM Tuliram Ronghang regarding the claim of displaced Kuki IDPs in Karbi Anglong, the War Kukizo Intellectual Council WKZIC has the honor to throw lights about the stated IDPs and the blood and ancestry connections of the Kukis and Karbis and their historical and constitutional rights in Assam as under. First, claim Kuki IDPs in Karbi Anglong and Indian Constitution Article 19(1)(e). The so-claimed IDPs or Kuki refugees by KASC, CEM Ronghang were not refugees but participants congregating from neighboring states who visited Karbi Anglong for the biggest Kuki festival, Chavangkut, which Kuki people celebrated at Dillai in Karbi Anglong district on 1st November 2024. All the participants have returned back to their respective localities and Pu Ronghang and Brethren Karbis are appealed not to be panicked about Kuki migration. WKZIC also earnestly appealed that in case anyone willing, the Kukis, none other than the blood brothers, are the Karbis, and unless if someone's homestead land or field or house is forcefully or illegally occupied, one should not forget the constitutional rights granted by the Constitution of India under Article 19 that any Indian citizen can settle in any part or parts of India, this democratic country. Second, Kuki Karbi Mikir constitutional rights in Assam. The Government of India under the Gazette of India, Extraordinary Part 2, Section 3, published by Authority Number 40, New Delhi, Wednesday, September 6, 1950. Part 1 Assam, at serial number 5 recognize any Kuki tribes as indigenous people of Assam and Karbi Anglong. Annexure 1 enclosed for reference. The Constitution scheduled tribes, older 1950, Part 3, rules and orders under the Constitution. The scheduled tribe Part 2 Assam, also at serial number 1 in the autonomous districts of Karbi Anglong and the North Qatar Hills recognize 1. Chakma, 2. Dimasa or Kachari, 3. Garo, 4. Hazong, 5. Mar, Kuki, 6. Khasi, Jantia, Sinteng, Nar, War, Boy, Liangam. 7. Any Kuki tribes including 37 clans and sub-clans as 1. Baite or Beite, 2. Changsan, 3. Chongloi, 4. Dongal, 5. Gamtho, 6. Gangte, 7. Guite, 8. Hanning, 9. Haukip or Haupit, 10. Haulai, 11. Hingna, 12. Hongsang, 13. Rangkol or Rangkol, 14. Zongbi, 15. Kongchung, 16. Konglang or Kothalong, 17. Helma, 18. Kolho, 19. Kipgen, 20. Kuki, 21. Lintang, 22. Thangum, 23. Lhozem, 24. Lhovum, 25. Lupeng, 26. Mangzel, 26. Misao, 27. Riang, 28. Sirem, 29. Silnam, 30. Singson, 31. Sitho, 32. Sukte, 34. Thado, 35. Thangneo, 36. Uibu, 37. Vaipai respectively as the people of Karbi Anglong Annexure 2 enclosed for reference. Third, Kuki Karbi Mikir ancestry and blood connections. The Karbis, formerly known as Mikir during colonial era area, are one among the Kuki Chin, Kachin, Khasi, Karbi blood-related ethnic group. The descendants of Serim, the progenitor of Manmasi, allies Manasseh Kukis, whose ancestor was the biblical Manasseh, the elder son of Joseph, the son of Jacob. Mikir, allies Karbis, are the second descendants of Pu Lintang I's sons, 7 sons as 1. Lintang 2, 2nd Mikir allies Karbi, 3rd Aimol, 4th Lamkang, 5th Rangkol, 6th Kom, and 7th Sakchep respectively. The Manipur government criticized Mizoram Chief Minister Laldu Oma for stoking fire of hatred and division through unwarranted comments, urging him to display better statesmanship by being a good neighbor. In a statement on the night of November 29, the Manipur government said that India must be wary of the greater agenda of carving a Kuki-Chin Christian nation out of contiguous areas of Myanmar, India and Bangladesh, played out over decades of meticulous planning. It said it will not allow fragmentation of Northeast India at the behest of foreign vested interests or successionist interests as openly espoused by the Mizoram CM. Mizoram Chief Minister reveals his democratic credentials by espousing imposition of president's rule in Manipur while opposing boundary fencing of the Indo-Myanmar international border. He also calls for reunification of the Jaw people. He also talks about possibility of armed militias in Manipur, pointing their guns at Delhi and need for disarming and sincere negotiations with Hill leaders, it said. The Manipur government statement came in the backdrop of a recent interview given by Laldu Oma to the Hindustan Times in which he states that N. Biren Singh was a liability for the state, its people and the BJP, and even president rules is preferable compared to his administration. He further questions the use of border fencing, saying smuggling of guns, weapons and drugs could not be stopped along Indo-Bangladesh border despite existence of border fence, the statement said. The Mizoram government has been steadfast in opposing the efforts of the center to fence its open borders with neighboring Myanmar for the purpose of curbing illegal immigration, trafficking of arms and drugs, internal security and defense, it added. The Manipur government said the ongoing crisis in the state is the creation of illegal immigrants from Myanmar whose economy, driven by the cultivation of illicit poppy, had taken a severe hit under CM Singh's war on drugs. It is not on account of any anti-tribal policy of the state government, as has been falsely portrayed by the Mizoram Chief Minister through fabricated narratives and history, it said. The Mizoram Chief Minister must note that Manipur has a recorded history and a rich culture going back thousands of years, unlike Mizoram, which was carved out of the state of Assam only a few decades ago, it said. The statement said that Laldu Oma was apparently unable to fathom the reasons behind the abnormal increase in the number of villages in the hill districts, which are Kuki dominated or which has a sizable Kuki population. Laldu Oma may like to recollect that the Mizoram government, in view of similar concerns of pressure on land, livelihoods and resources, has instructed Myanmar nationals not to purchase land and run businesses without prior permission, it said. From 2017 till that, the Manipur government seized or destroyed drugs worth rupees 60,000 crore under the War on Drugs program, it said. On accounts of efforts of state government and assistance of central government agencies, the transit of drugs within the state of Manipur has come down to almost nil currently. On the other hand, Mizoram has now emerged as the favored route for international transit of illegal arms, ammunition and drugs between India and Myanmar, it claimed. The Mizoram CM may like to focus on the looming threat on Mizo society from the drugs threat instead of passing unwarranted comments on legally justified acts of the government of Manipur to combat drugs trafficking by labeling these acts as anti-tribal, it said. The statement said that the N. Biren Singh-led government was making continuous efforts towards the restoration of peace and normalcy in the state. The government has been providing food, clothing and shelter to over 60,000 persons staying in relief camps across the state. Combing operations to recover arms and ammunition looted from police armories continue to be undertaken with success, it said. India must be wary of the greater agenda of carving a Kuki-Chin Christian nation out of contiguous areas of Myanmar, India and Bangladesh, played out over decades of meticulous planning through illegal immigration, land grabbing, displacement of original indigenous people, formation of Kuki-Chin dominated districts, establishment of autonomous district councils, upgradation of such councils to scheduled areas, amalgamation of Kuki-Chin areas, and finally nationhood, it said. Further adding that one must also be wary of any attempt to push illegal Kuki-Chin immigrants from Mizoram to Manipur for land grabbing and creation of Greater Mizoram as part of this process. The government of Manipur will not allow fragmentation of Northeast India at the behest of foreign vested interests or such successionist interests as openly exposed by the Mizoram CM. Any individual, group or organization working with such intent shall be met with the strong hands of the law. The Mizoram CM can display better statesmanship by being a good neighbor rather than stoke fire of hatred and division it aided. In an unfortunate incident which occurs on the 29th of November, two pastors, namely Pastor Tangkulun Tautang and Pastor Lunlal Dongal, happened to cross Burma due to navigation issues and were intercepted at Pangdo village, Myanmar by the Myanmar's army. Pastor Tangkulun Tautang and Pastor Lunlal Dongal, who were very much unfamiliar with the geographical landscapes of the region, happened to run deep into Myanmar's territory and were stopped by the Myanmar's army at Pando village, where they were taken into custody at Tamozil. Report says that the two pastors crossed deep into the border unknowingly and were taken into custody by the Myanmar armies. The Hill Tribal Council, More, had notified the Assam Rifles and DC regarding the two pastors. We know not what their future holds, but there will be talks between the governments regarding this matter, say Kaikulal Haukip, President HTC. Haukip appealed to the public not to panic and cause unnecessary commotion regarding the matter, since the concerned authorities had been notified and they are going to execute the best possible steps to bring them back. This morning, reports were received that they were currently in Tamozil, and our brethren across the border visited them and reported their condition to be stable and unharmed. We will do our best to bring them back safely, and the public are requested not to spread false and baseless rumors causing unnecessary panic, says Haukip. In a major operation on November 28, the Manipur police arrested 3 active members of the proscribed group KCP-PWG for their involvement in extortion and illegal arms possession. The arrested individuals were identified as Chongtham Siam Chandra Singh alias Sana Jauba alias Melem Sana 23 from Infal West, Maibam Suraj Khan 32 and Bokhi Mayum Sahid Khan 30, both from Infal East. During the operation, authorities recovered 3 5.56 mm in SAS live rounds, 1 empty case of 32 ammunition, 3 mobile phones and 1 wallet. On the same day, Manipur police apprehended another individual, Chongtham Thoicha alias Romeo Meitei 20, from Kiyam Mamang Leikai under Patsoy police station in Infal West. He is suspected of involvement in the Arjun and the Maze to properties belonging to elected representatives on November 16, 2024. The tripartite talks among the Government of India, the Government of Manipur, and the United Naga Council (UNC) were held on November 29, 2024 at Senapati District Headquarters. The deliberations centered on the creation of 7 new districts by the Government of Manipur through notification number 16/20/2016 are dated December 8, 2016, and the UNC's demand to roll back the decision. The representatives of the Government of Manipur expressed their inability to present a concrete proposal due to certain challenges. However, the UNC voiced strong objections to the absence of a concrete proposal and insisted on its submission during the next round of talks. The meeting was conducted in a cordial atmosphere, with all parties mutually agreeing to work towards resolving the issue politically within a time-bound framework while adhering to previous commitments. It was agreed that the next round of tripartite talks would take place in the last week of January 2025 at Senapati District Headquarters. The meeting was attended by signatories including A.K. Misra, Advisor Northeast from the central government, and Asok Kumar, IAS Commissioner Home from the Government of Manipur, N.G. Lorho, President UNC, Varayo Satsang, General Secretary UNC, Priscilla Thiumai, President NWU, and Luikang Lakshan, President ANSAM. Manipur police have arrested 1 more person in connection with the Arjun attacks on the residences of legislators in Infal Valley on November 16. The suspected identified as Chongtham Thoicha Elise Romeo Meitei 20 from Kiam Mamang Laikai under Patsoy Police Station in Phal West District was arrested by Manipur Police on Thursday. On the other hand, Manipur Police on Thursday arrested 7 individuals who attacked the Kakching Police Station and police personnel who were lawfully discharging their duties on Wednesday night. The arrested persons were identified as Naurem Jyotis Singh 30, Khestri Mayum Rajiv Singh 50, Pravin Leisang Thim 31, Pukrabam Gopem 32, Naurem Sitaljit Singh 33, Wayembam Johnson Singh 31, and Sestri Mayum Asok Kumar 30. The police said the attack was carried out to demand the release of 4 persons arrested on Wednesday for vandalizing properties of an elected member. In the said attack, 2 police personnel were injured. The arrested persons were handed over to the concerned police stations for further necessary legal actions, police said. The 25th edition of the 10-day-long Hornbill Festival in Nagaland is set to begin on December 1. This year, the festival will feature 4 country partners, Wales, the US, Japan, and Peru, along with 2 state partners, Sikkim and Telangana. Tourism Minister Temjem Imna alongside at a press conference here on Friday. The festival is a flagship tourism event designed to promote, preserve, and showcase the state's rich cultural heritage. The Hornbill Festival is held at the Picture Square Naga Heritage Village in Kisama, 12 km from the state capital on the Kohima-Imphal National Highway, with structures erected depicting the map of Nagaland. The festival, which kicks off in just 2 days, will mark a significant milestone in Nagaland's history, the minister said. Known as the Festival of Festivals, the event attracts visitors from across the world to witness the state's vibrant traditions, food, arts and craft, he said. These partners will participate in various events including business roundtables, cultural exhibitions, and tourism promotions, he said. The inaugural ceremony will take place at 4 p.m. on December 1 in the presence of the dignitaries of the partner countries as honored guests, Governor La Ganesan as the chief host, and Chief Minister Nephew Rao as the host. The economic impact of the festival is expected to be significant, with the state government's investment reaching over Rs 100 crore for various infrastructure development and also upgrading the seating capacity of the main arena of the festival to 5,000 people with prefab structures, he said. With a budget of Rs 6.5 crore for the 2024 edition, the Hornbill Festival is not only a celebration of Nagaland's culture, but also a platform for global dialogue and economic opportunity, Along said. When asked about the flow of IMFL at the main festival venue in Kisama despite Nagaland being a dry state, Minister Along said the government has allowed the sale of Indian-made liquor exclusively at Kisama during the event, adhering to the state's prohibition laws. As part of the 25th edition celebrations, the Hornbill Parade will return, merging with the Kohima Night Bazaar for a vibrant carnival atmosphere on December 7, said the advisor to the Chief Minister Abu Mehta. Multiple districts across Nagaland, including Dimapur, Wokha, and Junhe-Boto, will also host a variety of music and cultural events throughout the festival, he said. Mehta said that the festival generates around 200 crore in economic activity, benefiting local businesses, hoteliers, and even ecotourism efforts. Environmental sustainability is a key focus this year, with the government striving to make the festival a green event, he said, adding that efforts to reduce plastic waste and promote eco-friendly practices are central to the festive planning. The festive, which began as a tourism initiative, now stands as a testament to the collective efforts of the Naga people, offering a chance to showcase their culture and hospitality to the world, said Mehta. The 10-day music festival, to be hosted by Task Force for Music and Arts, will mark the evening celebrations of the Hornbill Festival, with bands and artists from the partnering countries and also famed India bands taking the stage, he said. Meanwhile, addressing media at police headquarters on the security arrangement of the festival, Additional Director General ADG RP Kikon said a foolproof 2-tier security arrangement has been put in place for the entire 10-day celebration. Besides deploying security personnel at strategic locations, the department will have tourist police to assist domestic and foreign tourists. He also said that the border checkpoints have been strengthened to check any flow of drugs during the festival. To uphold the prevalent peaceful and tranquil atmosphere, uniformed personnel, including security guards with sophisticated arms, would be restricted from entry to the main venue, the ADG said. Security personnel for VIPs and VVIPs will have to be in civil clothes. The arms carried by them will have to be concealed, he said. Additional SP Traffic Kohima, T. Kaziri said steps have been taken to ease the traffic congestion during the festival. Marking the Jubilee year, the government has introduced 60 shuttle buses to transport visitors to and from the festival venue. He also said that goods carriages would not be allowed to enter Kohima from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. throughout the festival. At least 11 passengers were killed and 25 others injured after a Maharashtra State Road Transport Corporation MSRTC bus overturned in Gondia district of the state on Friday afternoon, police said. The bus, operated under the service name Siv Sahi, was carrying 36 passengers and heading to Gondia district from Bhandara in eastern Maharashtra when it flipped over at Kasri village in Sadak, Arjuni Taluka, after its driver applied brakes to avoid hitting a two-wheeler that suddenly came in the front, a senior police official said. 11 passengers were killed and 25 others injured in the accident, which took place at around 12:30 p.m., he said. The injured passengers were shifted to different hospitals, the official added. Of the 11 deceased passengers, 9 have been identified so far, while the identity of 2 others in their 50s is yet to be ascertained, he said. The deceased included a 32-year-old police woman identified as Smita Vicky Suryavanshi from Arjuni Morgon in the district, police said. Her husband worked in the police department and passed away a couple of years back due to some ailment. She was given a job in the department on compassionate grounds and was currently posted at the police headquarters in Gondia. She lived with her in-laws and a son and was returning to duty after meeting her family, the police added. Caretaker Chief Minister Eknath Shinde expressed grief over the loss of lives in the accident and announced a compensation of rupees 10 lakh each to the kin of the deceased. Shinde spoke to the Gondia collector and instructed that all the injured passengers be provided proper treatment and medical care. If needed, they should be admitted to private hospitals for specialized treatment, and expenses for the same will be borne by the state government. A statement quoted him as saying, Devendra Fadnavis, Deputy Chief Minister in the outgoing government, described the bus accident as unfortunate and offered his condolences to the bereaved family members. In a post on X, Fadnavis said, if needed, the injured passengers must be treated in private hospitals. I have also told the collector of Gondia to make arrangements to shift the injured to Nagpur if required for treatment, he said. I pray to God for speedy recovery of the injured passengers, Fadnavis added. With a fleet of around 15,000 buses, MSRTC is one of the biggest public transport corporations in the country. Daily, around 60 lakh passengers travel on the corporation buses. At least 200 two-wheelers were charred as a massive fire broke out in the vehicle parking areas of Varanasi's Kant railway station in Uttar Pradesh during the early hours of Saturday. Visual shows a huge blaze in the parking area as officials of the fire brigade and police department were engaged in dosing the fire. In one of the videos, a team of police officials can be seen bringing a water hose to the incident site and splashing water on the fire. Massive smoke and a haze due to the smoke can also be seen. Around 12 fire brigade vehicles reached the spot to extinguish the fire, along with teams of Government Railway Police (GRP), Railway Protection Force (RPF), and local police team, officials said. There were no reports of injuries. According to the initial investigation, the fire was caused due to a short circuit. There were some cycles too that have been burned. The fire was due to a short circuit. We are conducting further investigation, COGRP Kunwar Bahadur Singh said. Most of the two-wheelers that were burned in the incident belong to railway employees, officials said. I parked my bike around 12 a.m. One of the people near the vehicle parking told me that one short circuit had already taken place around 11 p.m. and was fixed. After a few hours, one passenger told me that there was a huge fire outside. I took out my bike and parked it on the other side. Soon after, the fire had spread across the parking lot, a railway employee said. The fire was put out after 2 hours, officials said. The Indian Space Research Organisation ISRO is set to launch the European Space Agency's Proba-3 satellites in the first week of December. The satellites have been integrated into the payload fairing of the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, India Today reported. The Indian Space Agency is using the XL version of its workhorse PSLV rocket to launch the satellites. The satellites will be launched on board PSLV XL from ISRO's Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh on 4 December. The Proba PR project for onboard autonomy missions are a series of in-orbit demonstration (IOD) missions from the European Space Agency for demonstrating and validating new technologies and concepts in orbit. Developed under the General Support Technology Program (GSTP) of ESA, the Proba missions are based on small satellites, embarking payload and instruments to deliver actual data to users to demonstrate a new capability. ESA has launched 3 Proba missions so far: Proba 1 in 2001, Proba 2 in 2009, and Proba 5 in 2012. The Proba 3 missions is devoted to the demonstration of technologies and techniques for highly precise satellite formation flying. It consists of 2 small satellites launched together that will separate apart to fly in tandem to prepare for future multi-satellite missions flying as one virtual structure. Proba 3 marks the next step in formation flying, as were first its 2 satellites, the Coronagraph spacecraft and the Occulter spacecraft, will maintain formation to a few millimeters and arc seconds precision at distance of around 150 meters for 6 hours at a time. The 2 satellites will create the conditions for observation of the sun corona, synthesizing the equivalent of an extremely large instrument. One satellite features a telescope kept in the center of the shadow cast by the other satellite around 150 meters away, thanks to an occulter disk. Maintaining the correct position in the shadow requires a precise formation flying capability, down to a single millimeter of precision. Its Proba 3 satellite is powered through high-efficiency solar panels. When in position, the 2 satellites will be precisely aligned so that the Occulter spacecraft casts a shadow across the Chronograph spacecraft. The satellite called the Occulter spacecraft, or OSC, features a 1.4-meter diameter occulting disk, which will be kept perpendicular to the direction of the sun's light. The disk will cast a shadow of about 8 cm wide at around 150 meters. The satellite called the Coronagraph hosts a scientific telescope with a 5 cm aperture. The goal is to maintain, owing to formation flying, the Coronagraph aperture within the 8 cm shadow with millimeter accuracy. This will happen when the 2 satellites are close to the apogee along their highly elliptical orbit more than 60,000 km altitude, where Earth's force of gravity is weaker and formation maintenance requires less propellant. Proba 3 will be able to study the corona for 6 hours in every 19-hour 36-minute orbit, a factor of 100 improvement in uninterrupted study time. At least 27 people have been confirmed dead and more than 100, primarily women, are missing after a boat capsized on the river Niger in northern Nigeria, officials said on Friday. The vessel, carrying approximately 200 passengers, was en route from Kogi state to neighboring Niger state when the tragedy occurred. Ibrahim Odu, a spokesman for the Niger State Emergency Management Agency, told the Associated Press that 27 bodies have been recovered by Friday evening. Local divers continue to search for survivors, but no one has been found alive more than 12 hours after the incident, according to Sandra Musa, spokeswoman for Kogi State Emergency Services. The cause of the capsizing has not been officially confirmed, though reports suggest the boat may have been overloaded, a common issue in remote regions of Nigeria, where poor road infrastructure leaves water transport as the only option. Justin Uwaju-Ruyonye, head of operations of Nigeria's National Emergency Management Agency in the region, highlighted difficulties in locating the site of the disaster. Rescuers faced hours of delay before they could begin their efforts. Deadly boat accidents are a recurring problem in Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation, due to widespread overcrowding, poorly maintained vessels, and a lack of safety enforcement. Many of the locally built boats disregard safety regulations, prioritizing maximum passenger capacity instead. The absence of life jackets on such journeys is another critical issue, said Uwaju-Ruyonye, adding that cost and limited availability further exacerbate the problem. Authorities have struggled to implement safety measures effectively, leaving passengers vulnerable to such tragic incidents. The Israeli military has warned Lebanese citizens not to return to 60 villages in the south of the country 3 days into a ceasefire, after more than a year of fighting with the Shia armed group Hezbollah. The Israel Defense Forces (IDF) published a map showing a swath of territory several miles deep, which it said residents must not return to. Anyone who did, it said, would be putting themselves in danger. More than 1 million Lebanese have been displaced by the fighting, mostly from the south. Tens of thousands of Israelis have also been displaced. The truce came into effect on Wednesday morning, though officials in Israel and Lebanon have accused each other of already breaching it. On Thursday, the IDF said its forces fired artillery and carried out airstrikes against targets in southern Lebanon. It added that it had fired at suspects after spotting activity at a Hezbollah weapons facility and vehicles arriving in several areas, which it said breached the ceasefire. Lebanon accused Israel of violating the agreement multiple times and said it was monitoring the situation. A multinational monitoring group, which includes representatives from the US, France, and the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, was set up as part of the ceasefire to oversee compliance with its terms. In his first interview with the ceasefire was declared, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he had instructed the IDF to wage an intensive war should Hezbollah commit a massive violation of the ceasefire. The ceasefire can be short, he said in the interview with Israel's Channel 14. Under the terms of the agreement, which was brokered by the US and France, Israeli forces will withdraw from South Lebanon as the Lebanese army deploys there simultaneously, with no other armed groups allowed to operate in the area. This is meant to happen within 60 days from the start of the ceasefire. The zone, which the IDF said residents should not yet return, stretches from Mansouri on the coast of Siba in the east. On Wednesday, the Lebanese army warned residents not to return to areas where Israeli forces were before they had withdrawn. Israel invaded southern Lebanon at the start of last month after the IDF intensified military action against Hezbollah. Hezbollah began the current conflict with Israel by firing rockets in and around northern Israel on 8 October 2023, a day after Hamas' unprecedented attack on Israel from Gaza, which killed about 1,200 people. Hezbollah said it was acting in solidarity with the Palestinians after Israel responded to the Hamas attack with a massive military campaign in Gaza. The Hamas-run Health Ministry says at least 44,330 Palestinians have been killed in the Israeli offensive. Since 8 October, Israel and Hezbollah have exchanged fire with increasing intensity. The Lebanese Health Ministry said Israeli strikes had killed at least 3,961 people and injured 16,520 others in that period. The figures do not differentiate between civilians and combatants. Hezbollah's attacks have killed 31 soldiers and 45 civilians inside Israel, Israeli authorities say. Another 45 Israeli soldiers have been killed fighting in southern Lebanon. In his first reaction since the agreement, Hezbollah chief Naim Qassem said the group would coordinate with the Lebanese army to implement the ceasefire. Hezbollah, he said, had achieved a great victory preventing Israel from destroying it. It is a narrative which may be embraced by its supporters, but not by others given the scale of loss of human life and the widespread destruction of land and property in Lebanon. That is all for today's news, and have a pleasant evening ahead.